Hi everyone, welcome. This is Nurse in the Garden channel and my name is Avalon. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I decided I will come out and do some garden work anyway because the seasons are changing and I would love to start preparing my bed for the fall crops that I have already. So I have them as starts and I'm going to show you guys what they look like. So today we are just basically going to get this bed ready right behind me, and I'm going to plant some things over in this area. As you saw from my last video, that we really cleared out like the squash and cucumber area, and they're still holding on strong, but very soon those things are going to come out. So I'm actually just going to fertilize my starts. I actually have them sitting out because it is a bit overcast today. The sun is trying to come out, but it is very overcast. So I think it'll be a good time to start hardening off my seedlings. Basically, hardening off your seedlings means taking your seedlings out from the protected area of the indoors, because I had my seedlings indoors under grow lights. So basically what I'm going to do right now is let them sit outside for a bit in the elements so that they could start getting used to what it feels like to sit outside. I might actually end up keeping them outside after I clear up the bed with row covers. So we'll see how that goes today. I'm actually going to fertilize my seedlings and fertilize some other plants that I have right now that are yellowing, that are in my containers, with some fish fertilizer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So right here are my seedlings. I just actually covered them down because the oh gosh, what is that moth called? I always forget the moth's name, but I'm going to put it on the screen. But I covered it down because that moth is flying around and I don't want them to come and start laying their eggs on my seedlings. So things are looking pretty okay. Things are a little bit long, a little bit lanky, but I have high hopes. As you know, we started these seeds a few weeks ago. It was actually August 28th, I believe, and today is September 11th actually. So I will be putting these seedlings in the ground hopefully very soon. I actually have to calculate how many more days I have until my first frost. I believe it's like late November, so I think I still have time to really do a lot with these seedlings. I'm just going to cover them back up. So I am actually going to fertilize them with some fish plant food because they're set. They already have their true leaves. They're not yellowing, but I know it's going to be a bit of a time before I'm actually able to put them in the ground. And then, so I've already mixed it with my rainwater that I collected. Right over here, some of my pepper plants are yellowing a bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and just fertilize them. Even though the season is coming to an end, I want to see what I can get for the rest of the season. So I just threw the fertilizer in the tray and I actually put it on the ground because the table was a bit unleveled. So hopefully they do pretty good out here. And now I'm just going to come over here and fertilize this plant. I'm going to give this a fertilize as well. And throw it on the leaves as well. Let the leaves pick it up. One thing to add about fish fertilizer, it does have a pretty bad smell to it. So that's why I took my seedlings out today and I figured that I would just do it outside. I'm trying to see where else I should throw some fertilizer. What plant? I already actually fertilized the lavender plants. I don't know if they're struggling or not. Hard to tell. I might fertilize my thyme. I'm actually going to be harvesting that pretty soon. And then I'm going to fertilize my culantro, aka shadow benny. And I think I'll give this a bit of a fertilize because I set out some of my chive seedlings like right over here, here, and here. And then these flowers opened up, so beautiful. I have a little bit left, so I'm actually just going to fertilize my cilantro that's hanging out back here. It's not much, but it's something. So I actually have some more compost left from, I don't know if you guys can see, from when I went to pick up compost at the Queen's Botanical Garden last year, just a bit, and it has pretty much like a lot of wood parts in it, which is fine. I bought this organic mushroom compost blend and this organic garden soil. I want to try to just keep the garden as organic as possible. I mean, you can't control everything, but if I can go ahead and use things that are just a little bit healthier for the soil, I'll do so. And of course, they always say they enhanced it with different ingredients, which is really nice. And the same thing here as well. They enhanced it with, well, this one is just mushroom compost, and the soil they enhanced, which they usually always do. All right, so I'm going to be setting some seeds here in this area. It's pretty much cleared out. All I will have to do when the cucumber plant dies out, I might actually take out the squash plant too, because it's really not doing anything at all. It does still have powdery mildew. It has one flower, but it really honestly isn't going to do anything at all. So the seeds I'm going to sow in this area are sugar snap peas and some lettuce in between the sugar snap peas. This area gets a decent amount of shade depending on where the sun is coming into. Sorry, I'm distracted by a bee. And I'm gonna use one of my composts. I'm not sure which one just yet I'm gonna use one of them, either the mushroom or the one from the botanical gardens. And then also I'm going to put some garden tone in the beds as well, just to help get the seeds started. Okay, so I just finished planting everything out. I did maybe like 3 inches apart. I put one seed of the snap peas, and then I did a row, like a trench of the lettuce mix. So I'm gonna go ahead and water this in. I am super excited that I was able to get this in because I've been feeling a bit anxious. I feel like it's happening all over again, where in the summer I was feeling anxious, I didn't get started on time, but everything turned out pretty darn good. And then now with my peas and my lettuce, I finally got that in the ground in this area. I think it's gonna do really good because the peas are going to come up. I might even leave these 2 trellises here. If not, I'm just gonna use, I have a longer trellis, this piece here that actually folds in, it could fold into different shapes. I will just probably have it straight out like this so the peas can go up the wall. And by that point, like once the peas catch, because they actually say that you should soak it for better germination, but I didn't bother to do that. I'm pretty good with my watering, so I'm just gonna keep it watered. So by that point, like my cucumbers and this okra plant might even be done. So I'll be able to trellis my plants this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and start in that bed over there, and we're gonna plant some more seeds. So I found this cutlass or machete in my garage, so I ended up cutting the marigold plant with it instead of trying to pull out the whole thing. It worked pretty good. I didn't think it was this sharp, but it ended up being really sharp. So I found all these onions in my bed. It was kind of like a scavenger hunt, but I'll see what I can do with these onions. They didn't really bulb up. There's only one that bulbed up, and I'll probably use that pretty quick actually. Okay, it's starting to rain out here, but I want to finish doing this task. And I'm gonna put soil. I am going to also amend the bed with some bone meal because I'm going to be growing root crops, and I heard that root crops like more nitrogen in the soil. The soil looks pretty good. It's pretty tough in some areas, but I'm not really going to worry about that. This bed wasn't really filled very much when I first started utilizing the bed. One of my previous videos, I complained about trying to find enough soil and the cost of soil and things like that, but I think I'll be able to fill up the beds just a bit more and go ahead and start planting some things. My goal, I think I'm going to add like my lettuce and stuff over on this corner of the bed, the far corner, and then right here I'm going to do root crops. So I'm going to do beets right here, and then some more corn in that area, and then this full area right here will be my cabbages, and my kale and all of those things. What I'm going to plant in this area right here are my Detroit red beets from Dollar Tree. And then I bought this gourmet beet blend that has different colors and different types of beets. We really love beets, so I really can't wait to see if I could have better success. One of my earlier videos I did plant and I harvested, and they did okay, but I would really like to get some more success with this. Again, it says to soak for 2 to 4 hours for better germination. I am really good with watering my plants. Like, a lot of people have issues growing carrots. I have perfect germination with that because I just water my plants every day. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and plant these. I'm going to just make holes. I sort of do the square foot method, but being that I'm pretty much taking over the bed, I'm just gonna do 2 rows of beets, and then I'm also going to sow some lettuce in between just to start up, because I do have some lettuce over there, as I said before, but I don't know, they seem like they're struggling, so I'm gonna plant them again over on this side. This area does get a good bit of sun, but I'm not too worried about that. I think I'll be fine. My beans, I don't know, I think because they were covered, although that these have flowers, I don't know what's going to happen with them. It was kind of like an experiment to see if I sow them pretty late, if they will germinate. So, but anyway, let's get started on this task before it really starts to rain out here. So right here in this area, I'm gonna go ahead and put some more bone meal, and I'm going to plant some more, not corn, carrots in this area. This nasturtium is doing really well, so that's why I'm keeping it. I refuse to move it. To just grab a handful of compost and mix that in. So what I'll do, I'll just do 2 rows of carrots. Carrot seeds are really tiny, but once they start to grow up, you could thin them out. So that's what I'll end up doing with them anyway. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cover them up. And hopefully I'll get some more germination with them. I do have some lettuce here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm not sure what it is attempting to do because it's not really doing much of anything. And then over here, I think this is my parsley, but I'm not sure. We'll see what grows up. Actually, I think I'm going to do another row of carrots right behind the nasturtium right here. So I'm just going to grab some more bone meal and fertilizer and compost. You do have to take advantage of all this space in your garden. especially when you are gardening on a smaller scale. It is really helpful to take advantage of all the areas and see what things you can plant that doesn't necessarily take up a lot of space, but will still give you a decent harvest. All right, awesome. So I ended up getting these garden hoops. They're fairly small. I mismeasured when I went ahead and got them from Amazon, and yeah, they're small. So they can serve a few purposes for at least the last part of the summer when the cabbage moth, I just remembered the name, the cabbage moth is out here. They are short, so they won't last the test of time as far as like when the cabbage and the kale grow when they get taller, so I may have to invest into the bigger ones. I don't know what I thought when I was getting this size, but I'm going to utilize them anyway because they were a gift. So I'm going to see if I can place my tray of seedlings in the bed without covering up the new seeds that I just placed, and cover them down so they can start hardening off, and then I could plant them in. Once I plant them in, I think they'll be okay. As I said, they'll be okay for a time, but not for a very long time. So I'm still just gonna leave these plants out overnight. I'm not extremely worried about them staying out in the cold because as they are cold hardy plants, they should be fine. I will definitely check on them every day. So as I said, the nighttime temperatures here in New York, they have been dropping, but obviously not to freezing. As I said, they have been also inside for a very long time. So they will need to get adjusted to being in the outside temperatures full time. I'm actually thinking of cutting this. I might actually just cut this just to fit for now because this is a pretty long shade cloth that I bought, and I really don't need all of this length right now. All right, so I went ahead and cut the cover, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is just tuck the ends in, and wherever there are like opening ends, I am going to put a brick so that nothing can go under and try to lay their pesky eggs on my new seedlings. Okay, so that they're entirely protected all around. And still give space to the other things that need air. So I've heard horror stories where people said they put the shade cloth on and then the moth still somehow was able to lay eggs. So I'm trying to make sure that the seedlings aren't laying up against the mesh, so that even if they do smell it and they want to come and check it out, they can't lay their eggs on top of the seedlings because, you know, they won't be leaning on top of the mesh cloth. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, just making sure that there's no like area for them to actually come and lay their seeds, their eggs, excuse me. Whew. All right, guys, so wish me luck. Hopefully that works. It looks pretty good. I'm going to be checking on these things like a hawk to make sure. So we'll see what happens. So once again, we are done with another garden chore. I am so happy to get this done. Thank you guys for coming along with me. I cannot wait to see what harvest I will get for the fall. Thank you again. And I see you new subscribers. Thank you for joining. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.